Hello, slow parenting family from across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Slow Parenting Podcast on Nostalgia Media. My name is Richie Adewusi. Welcome to a brand new season, the very first episode on season 7 on the Slow Parenting Podcast on this channel. Thank you for joining us once again. Today we're starting on this within this season. From today, we are starting on a very challenging issue. It's been there for as long as mankind has been around, and just getting well, it's become a lot more challenging. We're talking about the issue of issues of substance use and abuse. Some might want to say drug use and drug abuse. But because when we say drugs, or when people say drugs, some people take their mind to, specific, again, substances. But then when we talk about substances, we are now talking about the legal and non-legal, okay, substances of that people use, okay, that could be, if you like, problematic for the consumers, okay. And in this regard, we are talking about everything, not just, sorry, I want to, hello guys, is the YouTube gang, sorry, the TikTok gang, okay. But when we say substances, I'm sorry, so sorry for that, distractive posturing. It includes everything, okay? The legal, the non-legal, the prescriptive, the non-prescriptive substances that people use. Every one of them can be abused, okay? I mean, there are stages, there are modes and patterns and frequencies of usage that would make even a prescription drug to become addictive. Okay, but our focus here, of course, is on parenting. Here, from this season, within this season, we're going to be taking parents through the things they should pay attention to concerning substances of use, and that could become substances of abuse. Okay, and what to do, how to go about, getting help, and the whole season, really. So I'm not talking about just on this episode. This episode, we're just going to go through the introductory aspects of this issue area, which is substance use and abuse, and prepare the minds of parents if you are concerned, or you're just curious, okay? You're a parent to be. Um, I think by now most of us should have come to understand that that's never going to happen to me. um, might not be the truth. So it's always better to be prepared than to be taken unawares. Like we always say, there would always be that child. There would always be those children that you would have done everything for, you would have done everything that you could, should possibly do as parents. And they still decide for some reason to take the left turn. So our paying attention might prevent the left turn for some of them. When I say left turn, turning left, I mean going astray. It might help some of them to say, no, I don't want to. How am I going to face my mom? How am I going to face my dad? it could just be the reason. But if you are not paying attention, like we've said, the season 6, we went through the whole uh, gamut of the communication, you know, uh, skills and information that you need to be able to uh, provide your children with that environment, you know, information and skills with which to bond with you and then be themselves when they are not with you. Okay, so here from this season, we are taking issues one by one. Okay, we can lump everything together one by one. This season, we are focusing on the issue of substance use and abuse. Okay, and the issue of substance use it's not something like I said. You should say no. It's not going to happen around me, not my children. Why? Your children don't exist in an island that is just you and them. They have friends. Most times, young people get into things not because they plan to. Everything, whatever it is, drugs, sexual relationships, even taking other people's things. Sometimes it's just for fun, and then it gets out of hand, then there's trouble. Okay? So that might not be how you bring your children up. That might not be the kind of orientation you give them at home. Might not be your family values, might not be your tradition, might not be your culture, but they're going to be mixing with other people from other families, other cultures, other traditions, other value systems. And because of that, plus, there's something called peer pressure. Okay? Peer pressure has taken an, an entirely different form now because of the advent of social media. Okay? So you need to be a lot more vigilant than maybe you used to be. It was okay, why would I find time to do other things I have to do? Sorry. Like we always say, your children did not apply for you to give back to them. You decided to have children. So, well, your parents brought you up. Whatever your excuses, whatever your complaints concerning them were or are, would have been as you were growing up. Well, you have grown up. You're grown up. You're here now, and then you have your own children. So your parents managed somehow to get you somehow to be in a position where you have your own children. So you have an obligation. It's a responsibility. You must also get your children to the position where they also at least manageably have their own children too. So you hand over the baton. Okay. So we are saying it's a lifetime, full-time job. Some of my friends will laugh, actually do laugh when they hear me say that. Richie, you really mean that? You mean you? Okay. Yes, me. Yeah, it's a full-time, lifetime job. With principles, with expectations, with responsibilities, with consequences, which is why we always talk about set boundaries in agreement with everybody. So, substance use and abuse is not exempt. It's not an exempt area when it comes to the issue of setting. Don't leave anything out. And then there might be a challenge. What if you use some substances? Okay, well, we'll be saying substance. What are substances? Cigarette is substance, some substance. Alcohol is some substance. Both of them, cigarettes and alcohol, might, well, be the most common or the easiest ones for people to come in contact with or start with, because they are glamorized, both in popular media and amongst your friends. It's like you drink. Well, there's that expression, I'm a social drinker. Okay. You're a drinker, you're a drinker, a social drinker. Okay. Anyways, alcohol and cigarette are easy for most people to get into, including your children. So if you are someone who uses any of the two or both, um, your job just got a bit more difficult when it comes to parenting around substance use and abuse. Unfortunately so. Because, but am I saying this so that you can start punching yourself, beating yourself up? No. Okay? Apart from the health related challenges that the consumption of those products, substances, if you like, uh, could pose to individuals, both the users and the people around them, actually. Even if the people around them are not using, there are consequences, really, both physiological and economic consequences. Uh, you need to be sincere. Remember, we've been talking about communicating, being sincere, being open, dialoguing, not, yes, I'm a parent, I own this house, you pay the rent here. Well, I've also shared on this stream, on this podcast, a boy who said to the father, I think it is time now for you to go to your father's house. What? Yes, daddy. This is my father's house. And the father and the father had to shut up. Is the boy lying? No. Go to your father's house. Why are you stressing us here? And the siblings say, yes, daddy. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's true. You should go to your father's house now. We are in our father's house. So please make your children comfortable in their father's house. If you do smoke or drink, there are not many people who smoke and drink who do not want to stop. So it's important that you let your children know how you struggled, how you tried to stop, and how challenging it is to get to stop. Which is why you're encouraging them to please, please, please don't start. Yes, it's a habit that you picked up, formed as they are now with you, informing them. You've been finding it difficult to get out. So for that, you go to we would equip you with uh, a whole lot of, that's a whole lot of information online anyway. That your phone, yes, that's that your phone. Any particular substance, alcohol, cigarette, anything you want to find out, you can. But on this podcast, on this live stream, we will, you know, help as much as possible in getting you to have understanding of what the challenge is and what we could do. So we're on one now. But from the top, discussions around substance use and abuse, it's not something you go silent on. As in, oh, it can happen to my children. We've already said that, you know. Or, wow, well, they will learn. They will learn, certainly. But what they will get to learn might not be what you might be pleased with. They may actually outdo you even if you smoke and drink. Okay? You managed and got on. You are there, father, mother. you know your challenges down the road from yesterday to where you are at the moment. Let them understand. Share those stories. Don't hide them. Share those challenges. Okay. Now you are able to navigate through education, through work, and all of that. Our tolerance levels for things are not the same. You need to understand that. I need to explain that to your children. Okay? Then start early. Start that discussion early. Okay? Even if you are a user yourself, and we are talking about cigarettes, alcohol. And cigarettes and alcohol are not the only substances that people use. They're oftentimes referred, if you like, as a gateway to, well, the ones that are considered the big ones. Well, hemp in some places are not considered any big thing anymore. Where I live, for instance, hemp is legal. It's actually the government that sells hemp here officially to users. There are so many reasons for that. People will use it all the same. There are so many people who are incarcerated over possession of hemp, and I'm not into the politics of whether it's beneficial or not beneficial and all. From law enforcement viewpoint, it makes sense that people are going to use it anyway. So why criminalize it? Okay, so they decriminalize it where I live. I'm not saying it should be decriminalized everywhere. Okay, it depends on the environment. It depends on how much hold the authorities have on the populace in certain. Here in Canada, the law enforcement agencies, the different social institutions that could take care of things that happen when people, they are fairly well formed, fairly well structured. So they could. So if you go say, oh, so because they decriminalize hemp in one place, oh, it means that any other place, do you have the structures on ground to take care of the outcome of the usage? Yes, it would decongest, well, the if you like, police cells, for instance, so the prisons, for instance, yes, because people will not be arrested for, oh, you have hemp, you get locked up, okay? But that's not the end of it. There are downsides. So they will use, things would happen. Do you have what it takes to take care of them? So let me not digress. So you don't quote me to say, I say, oh, uh, decriminalize hemp globally. No. If you cannot cope with the only upside for decriminalization is not just that people would not get locked up and all of that. There are so many issues around it. Okay, what's the healthcare system like? People who have regular healthcare challenges that can't get help. Now, not when you now talk about substance use related challenges. Okay, so there are societies, there are environments, there are places where such, you know, you know, uh, uh, provision, not provision, you have such institutions, okay, my institution is closer to what I want, uh, that are there, institutions, personnel, the structures are on ground to at least respond to certain challenges that that must come out of people using substance. People use substances, some would abuse it. abuse of anything would always bring issues. Okay? So start early. Let your children have understanding of some of these issues. Like we always say, give age appropriate information. Don't overload them. If 4-year-old that you speaking on the grammar, I'm speaking here about decriminalization, institutionalization, and so it'd be a problem. Break it down to what could happen. Do you like the police? No, if you use a police, no police. Okay. At least they can understand that. Apart from that, the health. Okay, now let's break this thing down. I always like to tell some stories about myself. Especially I talk about things I know. I'm not judging anybody who's using with cigarettes and alcohol, and it's not about me. But as a young man, as a boy in high school, of course you have friends. That's why I'm saying that I never saw my father smoke one day. Okay, so in case of because I didn't smoke, you won't. It's a lie. In high school, I have friends who smoked. Not openly, they will hide to smoke. Their parents must not see them smoke, but they'll smoke. And they'll be like, come on, that's nothing, try it. Then you see some other mates of our mates who don't smoke. Well, because somebody's smoking, they think it's something real big. We'll get into all of that. Why do young people take substances? It will be a whole episode for that, okay? Because we're going to go into specific issues. And this, like I say, is an introductory part of this issue area for this season. And it's okay, so I did try. Yes, I tried. Cigarettes, high school. And that was the last time. Because I kept wondering, my mouth was all messed up for days. I couldn't taste nothing. I woke up the following day, my mouth was smelling like. So I didn't need anybody to tell me. And we are not all alike. That's the problem. Some people can live with such things. They don't care. Well, some other people even tell you they like the feel of it. I didn't. But all our children will not be like me. That's a problem. Then you get into the health issues. There's a challenge with discussing futuristic health challenges with children, young people generally. They are young, they are strong, they can jump from anywhere to anywhere. So if you're telling them that something is likely to go wrong in the next 10 years, they're here now, 10 years. So, and in every area, not just substances, but if you do this, you're going to hurt yourself. In 10 years' time, you will not be able to do this. They're here now, 10 years, they can't place it. It's like forever. So putting a human face to the stories you tell them or to the information you give them might be better. You could tell stories about specific individuals that you might not mention their names, especially if they're people that the children know, and the challenges that would have happened with you. You remember? No, if you say remember, they know the person, and that could be an issue. So don't get your children to become gossips and then disrespectful to people because of their maybe habits or ways of life. No, don't do that. Tell the story generally. There was a friend, I have a friend, there was a family friend, there's a brother, there's a sister, and it didn't end well. And you discuss that not ending well. On this program, the slow parenting program, we had one of our resource persons at the very early stages of this podcast over a year ago, share a story. I wish we could play it back, but I didn't prompt. That example didn't occur to me on time. I would have prompted the technical people to play back that video. It would have been, well, it's not lost. We have other episodes still the substance use and abuse. So we're going to play that video on someday. But let me tell that story here. So well, she had this brother, who smoked, but didn't want the children to know that he smoked. But the wife knew he used to. So he had children who had grown up, but they didn't know that he smoked. But he would go into the bathroom. That's the story. After smoking, put some air fresheners, some perfumes, and then he will come out. And as the story went, they went outing, and one of the daughters, it was a family outing, and one of the daughters smelled something. Some went into the bathroom or somewhere, and she said, "Well, that smells like daddy's perfume." And the person who told that story said, "Look, he got the wife of the man went to him and said, 'Look, come. I think it's time you sit your children down to tell them you smoke and let them know what the challenges are.' Okay? They already know. They understand this thing. They see that is perfume. So the man had no choice. Actually did call them together and say, guys, listen, I have a very, very bad habit. I've been trying to stop it. I have been struggling with it. You see, what you call that is perfume is not perfume. It's cigarette smell mixed with. I've been trying hard to stop. I've not been able to stop. And sometimes this happened with my health. This happened this way, that yesterday. So please, I beg of you, don't start to smoke. Don't join anybody to smoke. And as the story went, the children became more supportive in helping him in his struggles to get to stop smoking. He was open. Well, the wife encouraged him, which is one more reason why we say that parenting needs to be a team event, not a solo 100-meter race. It needs to be a team event. The wife said, my dear, sorry, I think it's time you sit your children down, tell them you smoke. Not the wife going behind and say, if not your dad, the smoker. No. Okay? It's high time so you need to tell your children the truth. Let them know the challenges you are facing. Okay? As regards your challenges of stopping or not being able to stop smoking. And again, unmask the lies. There are many lies. It's glamorous. Oh, wow. Especially the lies are told on TV and the movies. You always see people who smoke or who drink, smartly dressed, pushed up, in some very fancy environments. And then the advert goes with some wow music. Why would anybody feel like smoking is the best thing that happened to anybody do? It's packaging, let them know it's advertising, including alcohol. Have you ever, There's a joke I saw, I think it was on TikTok. Hi guys on TikTok. I think it was on TikTok. Some guy said, look, if alcohol was such a glamorous thing, why don't alcoholic companies, breweries, why don't breweries use drunkards to advertise beer and alcohol? And I'm like, wow, that's true. If it was so glamorous, where do you go to use polished people, well dressed? Why don't you show drunkards? Yes, that is the outcome. That's the real outcome of drinking to certain levels. Okay. Again, certain levels, I said at the top of this program that we all have different tolerant levels for different things. So that one person is doing something and gets away with it, don't mean you do the same thing and get away with it. Let your children know that. Let your children know that. Apart from your own challenges, you probably have friends who started with you who have stopped. Let them know that. They were able to stop. How did they stop? They've tried. They told me what they did. I've tried. It hasn't worked for me. So let them know that there's no one size fits all about anything in life. No, nothing. Well, one size fits all. Everybody would die. Everybody gets born. Finish. After that, nothing else has any one size fits all. Even those ones, there are still certain measurements about it. How did you die? How were you born? Where were you born? Okay. So please, unmask the lies. Let them know that the media tells a lot of lies. All those things are packaging. Okay. Throw in the issue of why don't they use drunkards to advertise? Okay. Sometimes props might help. Okay. You could go purchase, or if you can rent, borrow uh, props, uh, models of the lung, a healthy lung, um, a diseased lung that is from the effects of nicotine and all of that. Liver, healthy liver that has been badly impacted by alcohol. Those help. We are in that age now. This is not like yesterday where you say maybe when they go to school and do biology. There's even no time in the biology class to go into those details. Maybe in some schools, maybe for some special programs. Well, you are the expert, okay, for everything for your children. Must be. You need to be. Number 3, anchor their identity in purpose. What you want to drink? What for? You are smoking. What will it do for you? Okay? Let them know other things they can do. The cigarette company, the tobacco companies, and the affiliated subsidiaries or associates or uh, partners have introduced vaping. Yeah. Glamorous. Oh, it's not smoke. Don't worry. You can take this. Unfortunately, that has gone south because anything can be put inside that thing. Young people have learned how to mix. People who sell heavier substances have come up with heavier ones that can be filled in those evaporators, and then you see a young person is not sniffing, is not injecting, but is vaping. They could vape anything. It looks glamorous, looks chic. Oh, even the designs of the thing, you see sometimes, wow. Yeah. Let them know. Show pictures. Okay? Let them know. Unmask, anchor their identity in purpose. You tell them things they could do better than engaging in those. Do you want to smell right? Yeah. Do you like how cigarette smoke? So if you don't want to smoke, don't smell. There's a purpose. At least that's one. You want to be falling all over the place, inside the gutter, get some video clips. Show them. No, that's not good. Okay. If you don't want to be falling all over the place into the drains and, places that are not conducive to any human, comfort, for any human comfort. If you don't want to be there, don't drink. If you drink, you lose your senses. That person, you see, that person is no longer in control of anything happening around him or her. That's the fact. So you can say that. Monitor the spaces that shape them. Where do they go? Who are their friends? Okay? Don't leave anything to chance. You go out with your children, take them to their playground sometimes, sit around, carry your laptop if you must do certain things. Yeah, let them, hey, you're cheering them. You also are getting acquainted with the people around them. Okay? And then, this pandemic, because that's what it is now, is real. It is not what it was. I have a book which forms the bulk of the discussion we're having this season. It's called The SURE Foundation. The SURE stands for Substance Use Resistant Education. Okay, the SURE Foundation keep to effective, means of educating your children on substance use, to prevention of substance use and abuse. I wrote that book 1989, 1988 years ago. At 90, sorry, not 80. Okay? Yeah, do the maths. It was only when we were reviewing it, the drugs that were the main thing down now, they are jokes now. they are bigger guys on the streets now. Okay? So this edition is not for us to drop names of drugs. You could say I've not passed, I just limited us to alcohol and cigarette. And those two are most times regarded as doorways to the bigger ones. If anything is bigger, they are big enough on their own to create enough havoc on their own, depending on the individuals, depending on usage. And now, someone who's really, really a diagnosed alcoholic is not somebody that you want to be around. The challenges are many. It needs help. When I say don't want to be around, it's not that it's no longer a human being, no, but heavy challenges. Okay? So you need to let your children have, there's information. And for you, sir, for you, my parents, get information yourselves. You cannot give what you do not have. We're here. We can help. That's why we're running this podcast. That's why I've written those books. Counseling, our email addresses, contact addresses are there, in the chat. Leave your comments. There are some comments already. Some community members have sent their comments, but again, we would at least drop the background to the discussion we're having, and then we'll go to take the specific questions. But even before then, we've also prepared a video like we started last season. We also prepared a video on this introductory part of parenting and the substance use pandemic. That's what we have titled it. So I invite you to watch the video, enjoy it, and I expect to read your comments and your questions at the other side of the video. Okay? Don't go away. Thank you for staying.
Dear parents, watch till the end to learn how to shield your children from substance use and addiction. Many young people are not defeated by weakness within, but by the powerful wave of influence that surrounds them. What may start as a simple offer, a music video glamorizing addiction, or a casual remark from a friend can, over time, become an unrelenting pressure. Gradually, these outside voices become stronger than the values you tried to plant. The reality is this: substance abuse does not begin as a crisis, it begins as a choice. One small yes can open the door to a chain of habit to break. The danger of substance abuse grows in places where there is silence, where self-worth is not nurtured, and where direction is missing. The world will always present options. The real question is whether your children would have the foundation to resist the wrong options. Here is how you can give them that foundation. 1. Start conversations early, not late. Do not wait for the first party, the first experiment, or the first suspicion before addressing drugs and alcohol. As Richie Adewusi writes in his book, The Sure Foundation, the key to resist substance use and abuse is to talk with your children early and consistently. Children who have already been taught about the risks are less likely to be swayed by curiosity. By starting the dialogue long before temptation arrives, you place a compass in their hearts that points them back to wisdom when choices appear. 1. Unmask the lies behind substance use. Abuse rarely begins with danger, it begins with illusions. Substances are painted as exciting, liberating, or what everyone is doing. When you deliberately expose these myths and replace them with truth, you take away their power. Children who can see beyond the surface glamour are far less likely to fall for the trap hidden beneath it. 1. Anchor their identity in purpose. Resistance is stronger when children know who they are and what they stand for. A child without purpose is more vulnerable to peer approval, but a child with a clear sense of values has a higher ground to stand on. Remind them often of their worth, their calling, and their unique role in life, so that their yes to destiny overrules every yes to substances. 1. Monitor the spaces that shape them. Influence comes not only from friends but from online communities, entertainment, and even casual neighborhood groups. Parents who stay observant and involved can identify harmful patterns before they become addictions. Staying close does not mean hovering, but it means paying enough attention to know which voices are whispering into their ears and replacing them with guidance. 1. Keep the door open for mistakes. Children may stumble, but stumbling should not push them into secrecy. If home becomes a place of judgment rather than help, they will bury their struggles deeper. But when you provide a safe place to admit failure, you allow healing to begin. A loving response does not excuse wrong choices, but it invites restoration instead of rebellion. Parents, the pandemic of substance abuse is not slowing down. Every generation faces it in new forms, and your children will not be exempt. But with honest conversations, clear truth, intentional guidance, and an atmosphere of love, you can build resilience within them. Your voice, steady and consistent, can be the compass that outshines the noise of a world trying to pull them away. Share this with parents who need to be more interested in their children's activities. Comment, like, follow, and subscribe to the Slow Parenting Podcast for more insightful parenting videos, not just hacks, but heart,
Yes, sir. Okay, okay. All right. Yes. So, well, thank you for being staying with us on YouTube. We're still interacting with our followers on TikTok. What did you make of the video? What we try to do is to outline some of the major issue areas and what you could do concerning them. Okay? Like we said, there's no one size fits all. You might have better information than the ones we're giving you here, but we're giving you basic information as to things to do. Don't say, I can't do anything. Whether you use substances, psychotropic substances, okay? Psychotropic substances that can alter how you feel, how you behave, whether you use them or not, because cigarettes, nicotine would alter how you feel, how you behave. Alcohol will, alter how you feel, how you behave. Okay? Hemp, okay? The active substance inside the hemp is called THC. It's tetrahydrocannabinol. It would alter how you behave, how you feel, regardless of whatever benefits it might have. This Sunday, 3 days ago, today is Wednesday, I have a community program I host. I cook Nigerian soups. I like to encourage people to cook and eat their own meals. I cook Nigerian soup, spicy meals. I love to eat spicy meals and encourage people to eat spicy meals. One of my guests smokes, well, drinks, but he has a two-month-old baby. We had this discussion, and I asked her permission to share, to use it. She said, why not? She's struggling to stop cigarettes, and she drinks alcohol, and she's breastfeeding. Now, anyone who has an understanding of what babies eat when they breastfeed will understand that babies eat whatever their mothers are eaten or drank or whatever has gone into their mother's system. It's part of what they take from the breast milk. And I appealed to her. I said, please, I actually appealed. Breast milk is good for babies. I'm not digressing. No, somebody say I'm not digressing. Breast milk is good for babies, but pure breast milk, unpolluted breast milk. Nicotine will pollute breast milk. Alcohol will pollute breast milk. THC will pollute breast milk. Add the other ones to it. So that child is on the way to becoming, is already a substance user, might have challenges that regular users would have. So I appeal to her, I said, if you can't stop smoking, whatever, drinking, maybe you should try and stop breastfeeding and feed your baby formulas. Give him a chance to grow normally. And I'm saying this to any parent, any mother who smokes, who drinks, who has a baby, who's planning to have a baby. If you smoke and drink and, well, use whatever other substances, make a conscious decision. Be, intentional about not breastfeeding your baby. Well, there's the challenge of secondhand smoking. If you smoke around where the baby is, even if you go outside to smoke, I don't know if anybody has really been around a smoker really. The entire apartment, whether he smokes in there or not, the clothing, the wardrobe, everywhere will smell of cigarette. I have a very bad tolerance for it. And somebody, I mean, the entire roof of my mouth, my tongue, everything will messed up just by walking into such a place. Okay? So it's not a case, okay, stop. If there are things when we decide to do them, we should put other people into consideration, including babies. You want to have babies, think about them, especially cigarettes. Okay? There are things that happen to babies that nobody really, people don't link them until maybe they go to the hospital and the doctor starts investigating, start asking questions, say, oh, okay, well, it's your right to smoke, yes, but the baby also has a right to live normally and make his or her own choices, whether he wants to be a smoker or not to be a smoker, want to drink alcohol or not drink alcohol. When you drink alcohol and you breastfeed, you smoke, whether Indian hemp or cigarette, and you breastfeed, you are giving your baby the same things you're using. Yes. Okay? Yes, you are. Yes, that's what's happening. So please, be intentional. Decide, okay? You might not be able to stop. It's not easy to stop any of them, really. There are people who are blessed, who are lucky, they could stop anytime they want, they could start again whenever they want. But everybody's not like that. The larger percentage of users don't have that blessedness of stopping when they like and starting moving when they like. No, they struggle, even those who really want to stop. That's what that was the excuse of manufacturers of vaping, inventors of vaping. Okay, do this electric cigarette, and it's people who want to stop, who couldn't. Okay, you can't stop, use this one instead. You want to feel you're taking something, you use this. Okay, so please, in the last 2-3 minutes, I've been talking to mothers and intending mothers, especially lactating mothers, breastfeeding mothers. Don't don't might be too strong. I'm not ordering you. I'm not insisting or forcing you to do something. I'm just saying I'm appealing because of the babies. If you cannot stop, try not to breastfeed. Try not to breastfeed to help your baby to grow at least properly. Okay, so we're going to take the questions or comments now where our time is far gone, but then we'll still do this. The first one here says, is there ever a time parents should kick their substance using children out? Maybe after no sign of the will to change after some time. They're still your children. It's tough. That's a very tough question to, but then they're still your children. They still need your help. We've said it here. Stopping is not easy. So, they say prevention is better than cure. Is that no? Yes. Okay. So our thing in this program from inception over 25 years ago of this parenting program, our thing is prevention. Be there, monitor, stop at the nip the habits at the birds. Mistakes will happen, certainly. And that's why we say in the video, keep the doors open for mistakes. Mistakes will happen. People would influence. Be there. Let that you are standing there with that child would be a reason why you make more efforts to stop. If you say get out, it's still your child. You're not saying, okay, well, you are free. I have a friend here. Well, the son, uh, I, I've been with people who have had challenges and their children and substance use. Yeah. So if you don't have that, it, thank God, be grateful every day. This mother did everything. The child went into rehab, will go. She spent all her earnings sustaining at the end of the day. This young man, it's not a boy. This was a young man of about 26, 27. Tried stopping severally. They tried everything. At the end of the day, what I'm going to say is not for TV, it's not for cameras, but at the end of the day, he unalived himself, unfortunately. And the mother had been shattered ever since because I was just like, this is my life, this is my life. So don't kick. It's not an easy thing to manage, but I would not recommend that you ask such a child to leave the home if it's still in need intensive professional help and care. Okay, I know someone that disturbed her child until she stopped using substances, like pouring water on the child and locking him out of the house for some hours anytime he used substances. It actually worked. What do you think? That young man also has uh, apart from the substance, you're destroying that person's self-esteem and how other people also look at that person. There's no need, like they say, in washing our dirty linen to the public. Let the child know you love him or love her. Work for that particular child. As a matter of fact, it's a strategy that is guaranteed to backfire with many with which is what that was. It's not helpful. Okay? Be there lovingly. Talk. Let the child know your frustration. Know what you plan, what the dream is, not what. This dream is still there. You can still do this. Encourage the child. There are many other reasons the child could, some people do stop, but you do need help, okay? You do need professional help. What are some practical do's and don'ts for parents when they first suspect substance use? Dialogue. Don't, why are you using this? Screaming. No, no, no. I mean, you could shout the child into hiding the habit. It wouldn't mean the child will stop the habit. Okay, this, how did you come about this? Ask questions, get responses, have more dialogue from those responses. Okay, you are now taking, what does it do for you? Okay, I've seen, oh, okay, see, I've seen that even your academics have dropped. Maybe this is the reason. Do you want to drop out of school? No, I know. Okay, like we say, present beneficial outcomes as alternatives. And then how that habit of substance use could now become a hindrance for which that benefit will not be attained or not be possible. Okay? It will work. It has worked. It does work for not everybody, some people. So, okay. So, but shouting or kicking the person out, you're just leading, you just go and live on the street with others. So that's parents react when their children ask questions related to substances. Be open, just like in reproductive health issues. We say again, old enough to ask any question at all, is old enough to get age-appropriate responses. Please, okay? So it's not, how should, be open, be sincere, whether you use or not, especially if you use, be open and very sincere about how you got into what is happening with you over it. Maybe why you are still using it, Daddy, but if he's doing all of this, why are you still using it? You see, that's the problem. I can't stop. I'm trying to stop. And that is why I'm saying, please don't, be sincere. Okay? Okay. I'm loving this backdrop. Nice and easy on the eyes. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. We told you last episode that, well, we're trying some new things. Yes, you join us here. Well, we're here. Technology is there. We make use of it. So thank you so very much for that compliment. We are really, really appreciative of it. Okay, thank you so much, family, for being here with us on this episode of the podcast, the Slow Parenting Podcast. We'll be looking at issues around parenting and the substance use pandemic. Well, used might get to abuse, might lead to abuse. We don't want abuse. So let's focus on use so that we don't get to the issue of abuse. But in the course of the podcast, and because of the season, we'll go into areas about management in case use had occurred and maybe addiction had taken place. We'll go into what could be done, what should be done in specific cases. So thank you so very much. We are here because you are there. And like we say, please subscribe. Okay, if you check our numbers are very low, very, very low. And we know we're working very hard to produce this program. And subscribe, please. If you have subscribed already, thank you so very much for doing so. Do invite other people to subscribe. Share this live stream, share the videos. There are so many videos. Right now, we have almost 130 videos on the channel. So please avail yourself of the ones that you find of interest, and do share, please. Share, send to other people, especially people might have, send to them, and then help us to grow. Thank you so very much. Until I hear again next Wednesday, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 7 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria. We are saying thank you. Bye-bye. Till next week.